What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Aha as we continue our journey through their 1993 album Memorial Beach, getting into the latter phase of the album now. I'm very intrigued. Over the last few days I've heard a number of different opinions on the album. Some people like it more than others. Some people think it's a great sort of exploration of a style that they could have perhaps done even more. A number of other people saying that they enjoy the album, perhaps not as much as some others. And then a few people saying that it wasn't their favorite, but even then, there's a few songs that they really do enjoy, which I think that's a testament to the quality of any group when, as they expand their sound, as they evolve and explore different avenues over time, they still find ways to capture the attention of people who came to like them for maybe a different sound. So yeah, bottom line, I've enjoyed this album a great deal. Definitely a different feel than the albums in the 80s, certainly. But yeah, we're up to a tune called Locust. Someone did just mention in advance that they were keen to talk about this one and to explore the sonics and the themes. So ultimately, it is a single word title. I've mentioned before, single word titles tend to be a bit more impenetrable in terms of exploring potential ideas or lyrical themes. I will say, Locust, it's a type of grasshopper, or rather, it's a state for a certain type of grasshopper that is capable of swarming behavior. It initiates, I think, in like drought conditions, and ultimately it relates to, I think, serotonin in their brain. But yeah, basically they start breeding a lot more regularly. They start moving in large collective groups. They are as crazy, if not more so, than Luca. But yeah, they cause like crazy crop devastation. There are a number of old world, ancient world texts, not only, the books that comprise the Bible that talk about locust swarms, but the Iliad talks about locusts. So yeah, basically they're a plague to human agriculture and society. Although I will say, my understanding is that since the 20th century, they found ways like biocontrol, I think it's called, or biological control, where they use other animals, other insects to offset the sort of damaging consequences of parasites and so on. In any case, I don't think they swarm nearly as often. I still think it does happen, but yeah, it doesn't happen nearly as often. You shouldn't eat that. You definitely should not eat that. I don't even know what that is, but you should not eat it. In any case, yeah, we're going to listen to Locust on Ha's album Memorial Beach. So yeah, I suppose it could relate to something that is it transitions into a threat. Initially it's benign, it's innocuous, it doesn't pose a problem, but changing circumstances, a changing set of conditions, you really just should not eat cords. As a general rule, you should avoid doing that. But then yeah, through some form of activation, it becomes a threat, it becomes damaging or harmful, and obviously, that could take a number of different forms, and physically damaging, emotionally damaging. So yeah, it makes me wonder if it could relate to something that transitions to a more harmful phase after being basically benign or innocuous. I guess we'll have to see. Let's get to it. This is Aha. The tune is Locust from their 1993 album Memorial Beach. Out in the desert in dry conditions. Sort of jazzy, sort of. That guitar is amazing. sort of like dreamy, kind of sedated feel to the tune. But I do like that basically call and response. A question is asked and then answered. Again, it had sort of like a western, sort of dusty road kind of feel, and I think sort of deliberately because there was some sort of, like desert critter sort of sounds, but it also had a sort of like a nighttime dreamy jazz kind of atmosphere. And his delivery, his singing was really interesting in that one. It sort of had this like kind of floaty quality. He wasn't like going super high, but he wasn't like super deep either. He was kind of just like floating in the middle range, and like again, I didn't catch all the lines, and I think part of it was I was sort of like keying in on his vocals. Again, please don't pull everything down. That would be very inconvenient. I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, I like his vocals were really interesting. Like his delivery, it had this sort of like old song from like the 40s or something. When at the beginning, that's sort of the atmosphere it was giving me. And then there was the spoken word section, which I don't know if that was also Morton or if it was Mags. Which I only say because I know he did the spoken word on that other track that I listened to recently, which of course in the moment the name is eluding me. But yeah, I do wonder exactly because basically what the point I guess I'm driving at is that it was in its individual sections, it was really great, but it was also the sort of the evolution, the sequencing of the tune that I found really compelling. And that one section, which was essentially like sort of like a synth or like guitar kind of like ambient interlude, that part was really, really great. That one, like it arrested my brain sort of in the way that Morton's voice can, but that time it was sort of the instrumental interlude that really hit. But yeah, let me know what you think of this tune. Again, lyrically, I gotta listen to it some more. I'm not exactly sure. I did hear, like harmless at the beginning, and I was thinking maybe there is that notion of at first something is innocuous and it's not going to cause harm, but it can shift, it can change, and then the weight or impact of it can change. But I'm not sure of that. I'm not sure that I picked up on enough lines to really justify that potential take. regardless, do let me know if you have an angle. Let me know what you think of the Sonics. Yeah, just a really cool tune. Getting close to the end of this album. Interested to see, after that, the way things change, or the way, I have, people have mentioned, I think Han Solo was one of the people who mentioned that by the time you get to the 2000s, they sort of have a return of their synth sound, but it's not quite the same as it was in the 80s. So, yeah, just looking forward to this full journey. Shout out to all of those of you who are here commenting, sharing in your appreciation for the group and the different songs and the albums. Really do appreciate all the AHA people. Obviously very passionate about the band, and I'm just understanding more and more why that is the case. In any case, from me and Luca, I will see you next time. Peace.